Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us. A 32-year-old has died after being hit by a truck near North Battleford on Sunday. Battleford's RCMP responded a little before 2 a.m. to a collision between a semi and pedestrian on Highway 16 about 8 kilometers west of the city. A pedestrian, a 32-year-old from Canoe Narrows, was declared deceased at the scene by local EMS. His family has been notified, and the driver reported no injuries to police. The cause of the collision is being investigated by RCMP. Guns and drugs were seized during a search of a home in Tisdale yesterday. RCMP executed a search warrant on a home and vehicle on 102nd Street in Tisdale as part of an ongoing investigation. Officers found and seized fentanyl, cocaine, methamphetamine, cash, 3 loaded firearms and 8 imitation firearms. 36-year-old Craig Patterson of Tisdale is scheduled to appear in provincial court on Monday. Saskatoon police have charged a 15-year-old boy after a stabbing yesterday. Officers were called to the 1700 block of Preston Avenue North around 10 o'clock last night for reports of a man who was stabbed near a business. The 41-year-old was found with non-life-threatening injuries. Police searched the area and located the suspect. A canine unit was able to find a knife in the area. The 15-year-old is charged with breach of probation and possession of a dangerous weapon. A Saskatchewan pilot is suffering from serious injuries after his spray plane crashed near the U.S. border. RCMP say it happened Wednesday morning near Beaubier, south of Radville. The Transportation Safety Board says the plane was doing aerial application when it crashed before 11 a.m. The plane landed upside down and a fire broke out, destroying the plane and leaving the pilot seriously injured. He's been identified as Evan Hansen. The family says he was airlifted to Edmonton for treatment and they're focused on his recovery, but they do appreciate the outpouring of support. Much of Saskatchewan is under a heat warning as a stretch of hot, humid weather settles over the province, and it's expected to last for 4 days. Temperatures in some parts of the province are forecasted to reach the mid-30s this weekend, with humidex values climbing into the low 40s. The city of Saskatoon has activated its emergency heat response, saying it's working with community partners to provide access to cooling locations while extending the hours of the city's spray pads. The city says people living in homes without air conditioning, older adults, and those with certain health conditions are most vulnerable during periods of extreme heat.
We're really asking the residents of Saskatoon, just reach out to your neighbors, to your family, to your friends, and check how they're doing if they live in that kind of a situation.
A slight cool down is expected by Tuesday, but temperatures are forecasted to remain in the mid to high 20s for several days after that. Police are renewing pleas for information about a woman who has been missing for 8 years. Ashley Morin was 31 years old when she went missing from North Battleford on this day in 2018. For years, investigators have treated her disappearance as a homicide and have searched for any sign of her multiple times along the North Saskatchewan River. Today, the RCMP is saying Morin's case remains active with its historical case unit. RCMP believe there are still people who have not yet come forward with critical information. Investigators believe multiple people were involved in Morin's disappearance, and they're pleading with anyone who was involved to share what they know. Well, a nice hot weekend. This is what you got into the business for, so you could tell us about, I guess, forecasts like this, right, Jeff?
Well, you already did, so I guess I'm going to take a hike here. No, it's like, seriously, we've got ourselves very hot conditions, and the humidex values are going to be high. In other parts of the prairies, also very high, particularly in Saskatchewan and Manitoba, John. Some places like Winnipeg may have humidex values reaching well into the high 40s, so it is going to be nasty. And that's not the only part of the country that's dealing with these kind of humidex values. Other parts of Canada are as well. We are also keeping our eye on this nasty little system as making its way north of Prince Albert and area, and certainly the potential is there. We talked about this yesterday with the daytime heating, all the moisture that's out there, a little bit of instability triggered in the atmosphere, and yes, it's a recipe for thunderstorm activity, and we'll talk about that later on.
Residents in Melville are hosting an event to recognize the 2 RCMP officers shot while on duty last month. The community is having a barbecue and silent auction with more than 100 items. The proceeds will be split between the families of the injured officers. Organizers say interest in supporting the officers was so high, they had to change venues to accommodate all of the members of the community.
the community of Melville and surrounding area, and I'd even say the community of Canada has been exceptional during this very difficult time for our officers and for our community as a whole.
The fundraiser will be held Saturday from 11 to 3 at the CN Community Centre in Melville. With the conflict resuming in the Middle East, gas prices in Saskatchewan have increased once again. After a few weeks of stability, prices reached as high as $171.9 in Regina, with many residents lining up at cheaper gas spots. The cheapest gas in Regina is just under $1.45 across the province. Canadians for Affordable Energy say on average in the last 30 days, regular gas is up 6 cents per litre in Regina and Saskatoon.
The strike between Iran and the United States seemed to have broken off any hope of cessation of hostilities and the potential for reopening the Straits of Hormuz back to the normal that it was prior to the war at the end of February. And so markets initially took that to mean something very, very negative. And as a result of that, we saw prices go up on markets by about as much as $3 or $4 a barrel.
He says we could see prices rebound toward the end of summer, with the end of July being the very earliest. Residents and visitors in Saskatchewan can now try their hand at fishing for free this weekend. The 37th annual Free Fishing Weekend is July 11th and 12th. No license is needed to go fishing in the province's lakes and rivers, with the exception of national parks. The province says catch limits, size restrictions, and provincial regulations are still in effect during Free Fishing Weekend. Residents are encouraged to check the provincial government website for more information about fishing in Saskatchewan at saskatchewan.ca/fishing. When we come back, more people on the roads making the most of the short summer season. Lyle from Parkland Ambulance gives us an update on summer road safety.
Well, in Saskatchewan, there are two seasons, winter and construction. And when it comes to the summer construction season, obviously, road safety is something that is critical. We're here in Prince Albert chatting with Lyle Karasuk. Just a quick little reminder of kind of those things that, you know, maybe we took our driver's license test when we were 16, which may have been a while ago. But there are things that we can do to make sure that this is as close to the back of an ambulance as we get.
Absolutely. And you hit on a good point, Mike. It is construction season, and often it starts early, and depending on which community, whether that's in an urban center or out on the highway, and we want folks to obey the construction sites. They're there. Those crews have worked hard. We want to keep those crews safe. They don't need to be back here. We don't need to be looking after them. So follow those construction signs. I know those detours in some of our major communities are a royal pain for us, and we don't like it, but it's the inevitable because we aren't having the access to wonderful weather in December.
Well, exactly. You make hay and highways when the sun shines, exactly. I think is what the expression is, and if it's not, it should be. Let's also not forget that there's an economic factor here because it's more expensive. So it's not just a safety thing, it's also a money thing. What are the types of things that we need to really be aware of, say, in construction zones specifically?
Well, certainly slowing down, number one. Watching for those flag people and other markings that are out there to avoid that, and taking the time to just be aware of your surroundings. So many times we hear on the highway of people just zipping by, they get frustrated, they're not sure where to go, and often it's just purely inattention that causes the injuries that those people see and we hear about in the media all year round.
You're holding that, it's not a license, it's a cell phone, but you're not allowed to hold that when you're driving, right?
No, you're not allowed to hold it. The law tells us that, and it comes with a significant penalty, if that. And thanks to law enforcement, those penalties get higher and higher every year because many of us still don't remember we're supposed to put this away out of reach and not use it. We have hands-free devices, and if it's that important, pull over, get into a parking lot wherever you can, make those calls, do what you need to do. Put the device away.
Exactly. Great advice, and really save you some money. And it really is staggering how much of a distraction it can be. I certainly know, I recall when they made that change, and then you go to a different jurisdiction, and boy, it's, yeah, we won't drone on and on about that because we do also want to talk about car seat safety, because that's equally important. And could also be more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. And as our children grow, you've got some young ones at home, and as they grow, they go through various stages of car seats, from the small little totes that you see moms and dads carrying to the bigger ones where we bring the kid out and buckle them in. Just be mindful, a couple things with car seats. One, is the car seat in properly? Read the label, follow the instructions, and make sure it is. And use it properly. We need to make sure that children to a certain age within the province of Saskatchewan, and it may vary, so if you're headed out this summer on the roads, heading to grandma's house, let's say in Alberta, make sure you understand that the rules here might be a little different than the rules are there. And use it properly. But most importantly, it's using the device. We see so often our paramedics will pull up at a stop sign and a kid's bouncing in the back seat. Well, it's not a trampoline back there.
Right.
Somebody just didn't buckle them in or doesn't have a car seat. And those are so important, as is all the rest of the stuff. The groceries, the dogs, the equipment, whatever we have in our car, that all needs to be secured as well.
When it comes to an ambulance or an emergency vehicle that's been dispatched, let's remind people what we're supposed to do if we're out driving and one of these blares up behind us.
Well, certainly the law tells us to pull to the right and to do so as safely and properly as you can. But as we know in some of our communities, the city of Saskatoon, even in Prince Albert, we get gridlock. We got 3 lanes, 4 lanes of traffic, we got a freeway, we got all this stuff, and it's just like, what do I do? Where do I go? Try to do your best. Make sure you're signaling so the responding emergency vehicle, like an ambulance, knows that you're going to go right. Just don't suddenly veer off the road, so to speak, and cause another collision. At an intersection, if you're the first in line, you're going to need to pull forward and cut everybody else off. And so to give that opening so those emergency vehicle crews can go. Remember also, on the highway or even in a busy urban center, you got to slow to 60 when you're passing an ambulance, a fire truck, a police car, tow truck, and give them room to move. So pull over, give them a lane space, and slow to 60.
Yeah, that's so important. That's if they're in front of you. If they're behind you, we want to slow, get to the right, or just even having that awareness to look and check your mirrors to see, because sometimes in that gridlock, they might be actually telling you to go left or whatever, if that's the easiest path. And it's great to listen to your music, but you can't have it so loud that you're not hearing these vehicles.
Well, absolutely right. We want folks to, we're coming to the seasons where we've got air conditioning and you got the music and you've got the distractions, maybe the kids, and you're late or you're thinking about trying to get to something and whatever's going on in your world. Try to limit those distractions. That's so important for us, and pay attention, like you said, Mike. The flashing red and blue lights of the ambulance behind you are going to indicate that there's something there. Move, follow those instructions. If it's a police car, fire truck, or whatever other emergency vehicle that is there, follow their instructions and give us room to safely work. And it's nothing worse than just blocking us in.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Thank you very much, Lyle Karasuk at Parkland Ambulance.
After a short break, Jeff has a look at your warm weekend weather forecast. Plus, an Alberta man creates an app to assist people living with Parkinson's disease. All right, Jeff, we're looking at a weekend full of heat, but also maybe potential for some electrical activity, I understand.
Close enough for rock and roll, buddy.
There you go.
What can I tell you? Yes, indeed. The potential is always there because of the heat, and there's going to be a lot of heat. Humid conditions, so the humidex values are going to be high as well. And so as we take a look at what's going on in terms of satellite and radar shot here, you can certainly see this active weather, this area of really active weather sliding across areas, basically north of Prince Albert. Right now, it's not impacting the gateway city, but it may be coming very, very close indeed. So I'm going to step out of the way here. We're going to take a closer look and see what the computer models indicate. We do expect to see sort of intensity, little pockets of intense weather, peppering across the province, but really sort of localized to northern areas for the most part. And that's certainly true of tomorrow when that second trough line comes rolling through. But look at this action tonight. We certainly are not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. The computer's indicating a lot of active weather particularly east of Saskatoon and then into Manitoba as we make our way into the next 12 hours. 11 degrees in Spiritwood, chance of some showers, risk of a thunderstorm. That's true of the Battlefords and pretty much throughout the Lakeland region. And the possibility of a severe thunderstorm is certainly there as well. So in terms of the overnight temperatures, 13 degrees in the Battlefords and Candle Lake, 14 overnight in Birch Hills, 13 in Rostern, 15 in Nipawin, and 14 with partly cloudy skies in Melfort. So not the best overnight sleeping conditions, and if you don't have air conditioning or a whole lot of good fans. So I hope you can keep cool, because it's not going to be cool tomorrow. It's going to be warm. Now, the Battlefords are expected to get it to 30 degrees. Everyone else flirting with 30. Spiritwood maybe a little less, so at 27 degrees tomorrow under cloudy skies, but mainly cloudy conditions, and 28 for Candle Lake, for Birch Hills, Rostern, Nipawin, and Melfort. Melfort also expected to have a hot day with mainly cloudy skies. Now we'll take a look at Prince Albert. So dropping down to 13 degrees tonight, chance of showers, risk of a severe thunderstorm, 13 degrees as I mentioned. The wind's backing off tonight. A bit of a cool breeze might be a blessing, but it's not going to be there. Mainly cloudy skies tomorrow and relatively light winds, winds out of the east at 10 kilometers an hour. And then we've got ourselves mainly cloudy skies for tomorrow. And then on Sunday, mainly cloudy and 29, sunny on Monday, 25, 26 on Tuesday, a little cooler, but not by much by the time we get to Wednesday and Thursday. And 1 week from today, there's some instability building back in, 24 degrees for a high and a chance of showers and a risk of a thunderstorm.
And there it goes. It returns at the end of that board there, the Electric City. I had it all mixed up from an Office reference, if you can catch that one. Scranton is the Electric City. I
had no idea. Now I know.
All right, Jeff.
Medicine Hat is the gas city.
There you go. All right. Well, Saskatchewan Roughriders will be hosting the Hamilton Tiger Cats on Sunday at Mosaic Stadium.
Dolagala over the middle has a completion.
It will be the first game Hamilton is without its star quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell, who suffered a leg injury last week. That means Jake Dolagala will get the start against his former team. Dolagala spent 2 seasons with the Riders in 2022 and 2023. He backed up Cody Fajardo and Trevor Harris those seasons, playing in 15 games, starting 9 and throwing almost 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 11 interceptions.
It's a crappy situation. You know, I feel for Bo and his family, but that's football, right? So next guy's got to be up. But yeah, I'm excited. Excited to lead these guys and we're going to win.
He's for sure a leader. You know, he's got a lot of reps under his belt by now, and you know he's going to be able to do everything he needs to do to be able to help them win. You know, they got playmakers that are going to be able to help them.
With Edmonton beating Ottawa last night, the Riders are 1 win behind the West-leading Elks. Hamilton lost to Winnipeg last week and are second in the East. Kickoff on Sunday from Mosaic Stadium is at 5. A cheerleader from Regina has made history as the first 2-time world champion. Ava Proby won her first world championship as a member of Rebel Smoke in 2022. Then she moved to Florida in 2024 to join the Top Gun All-Stars, known around the world for their performance. In April, Proby won her second world championship and says she never imagined the results when she began the sport at 5 years old.
I've never even thought about that. It's amazing watching the sport grow and being able to be a part of inspiring some kids to grow and wanting to push themselves to keep going in the sport, because it is an amazing sport and it deserves more credit for what we do.
Proby says she wants to push herself and try out for as many high-level teams as she can before the end of her career.
Do you have a community event you would like to promote? Or maybe you'd like to draw attention to your organization. Let your local CTV station help you spread the word. Contact us at 306-922-6020 or email panews@ctv.ca. You can appear on CTV Prince Albert's News at 5 and get your message to our viewers.
A Calgary man has developed an app to assist people with Parkinson's disease. It's meant to help track symptoms and medications. Kevin Green has the details.
Gary Swanson created My Care Cycle Parkinson's after years of helping his wife Fiona navigate the disease. The app tracks details that can be hard to remember between doctor's appointments.
And I could see the transition and the development of Parkinson's. I could see where it could become very difficult tracking medication or tracking mood or exercise programs.
For Fiona, that tracking is not just about numbers or notes. She says Parkinson's can affect memory, medication timing, and the way her movement changes through the day.
I realized how important the timing was, and then I have the app now, and so now I can put it in there, and it shows when I took the medication.
The app allows users to log changes in symptoms, mood, and exercise, and log medications.
And you want to try and keep track and make sure that the medications are taken at a consistent time.
The app also creates reports for medical professionals.
The doctor can look and go, okay, so you've been pretty consistent taking your medication in the morning and afternoon, but you're sort of laxing a bit in the evening. So we can make adjustments.
Parkinson's patients must remember a lot during short medical appointments. Parkinson Association CEO Lana Tordoff says tools that organize information make a big difference.
So this is where an app like Gary's creating can come in really handy. You don't have somebody else to kind of anecdotally support what you're telling your physician.
For the Swansons, the My Care Cycle app is a digital tool with a personal origin, a way to turn their daily experience with Parkinson's into something that can help others.
I hope someone downloads the app and they go, yes, this is useful. This will make things so much easier to help us deal with the...
My Care Cycle Parkinson's is available on the Apple App Store. Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
All right, Jeff, we're going to finish off with some art and a little bit of technology, if that's up your alley.
It is.
All right, well, Michelangelo's famous frescoes in the Sistine Chapel have been brought to life in London. You'll have to look closely, but they are moving. It's an immersive 3D exhibit that allows visitors to experience one of the most celebrated artistic wonders of the world from a completely new angle. What do you think, Jeff?
I'm going to reserve judgment on this.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's given me a lot of Harry Potter vibes of those pictures that moved in the
exactly.
frames. There you go.
I hear you loud and clear.
Take care.